It's time for your news by the numbers. Tonight's number is 35. Yes, indeed. President Trump's approval rating in a new CNN poll stands at 35%, dropping 5% over the last month. This drop follows a January bump in approval for the president, a finding that appears to be connected to the bullish stock market and strong reviews of the economy. In light of the school shooting in Florida, uncertainty over high-profile departures at the White House, and the ongoing Russia probes, this thing is not looking good for President Trump. And let's talk about it. So here's the tea on this one. This president has never seen a positive approval rating, ever. Period. Game over. But what we have seen over the past couple months is an uptick in the president's approval, one, because of the tax reform. Now, I'm going to be real with you. I'm not the biggest fan of this tax reform bill, but I understand why the American people are really liking it. Injecting money into the economy, people getting bonuses, the ideal that your overall tax rate has gone down is very popular amongst the American people. But we all know, as any economist will tell you, pumping that much money into the market when our economy is overall doing well could lead to inflation. And so we will see in a couple months with the new Fed chair likely raising interest rates to cool the market down, which is why we shouldn't have passed a tax cut to begin with. But I digress. Back to his approval rating. Like I said, we've never seen his approval rating be positive. It's always been negative. But right now, I got to tell you, this White House is in what I would like to call implosion mode. Lord Jesus, take the wheel. Not only do we learn this week of Hope Hicks' departure from the White House, but we also know that Paul Manafort has pleaded guilty to more charges. His business partner, Rob Gates, has also said he's going to cooperate with the FBI. Jared Kushner's security clearance has been downgraded. We also know new reporting shows that Jared Kushner has been talking to individuals and using the White House to get financing for his buildings. This White House is in implosion mode. And so let's dig into these numbers a little bit more to really find out what's happening. Trump's approval rating is low amongst Republicans, and that's a big deal. So what you want for any president is you want him to have over 80% within his own party no matter what's happening. For the first time since President Trump has taken office, his approval rating amongst Republicans only stands at 80%, an all-time low, meaning 20% of Republicans, 20% of his own party fellow colleagues, sons and daughters, husbands and wives, Republicans are saying no go on Mr. Trumpo. That is bad news bears for President Trump because he depends on his base over and over and over again. And because he hasn't tried in the past 12 months to expand his base, all he's got is Republicans. Or are Republicans, rather. And so an 80% drop in that number should scare the White House and should scare Republican members of Congress as we inch closer and closer to the midterm elections. Because remember, the president's approval rating is pegged to what will happen in November. So no matter how good the economy is doing, the president's approval rating is a big indicator on how his party will fare in the midterm elections. And with being at an all-time low of 80% just about 8 or 9 months out from this midterm elections speaks bad news bears for Republicans. So I'm pretty sure House Republicans are nervous Nellies with the president's low approval rating and the amount of retirements that they've had on the Republican side of the aisle in the House of Representatives. This could be a bloodbath in the midterm elections. Digging deeper into the numbers, we also see the approval rating for the president stands at just 5% amongst Democrats and 35% amongst independents. I want to talk about this independence number. The Democrat number, not so much. Democrats don't like him. Moving on. But this independent number is very big because for this president to win re-election in 2020 and for Republicans to win the midterm elections coming up, it is going to require them to woo independents to their side to vote for them. And with a 35% approval rating amongst independent voters, Jesus take the wheel for the Republican Party. And then you got to also think about, and I know people are saying, Richard, I know we're going to get some comments below. I know that people are going to be like, Richard, you just hate Donald Trump. And to be fair, that is actually not true. If you watch any of my journalistic work, you will know that I defend, if this president does something that's good, we at the Fowler Show will applaud him. We've done it before. We will do it again. I am not afraid to cross the aisle and applaud Republicans for doing the right things. Just like I'm not afraid to cross the aisle and condemn Democrats for doing bad things. But let's look at this president's approval rating amongst his colleagues or former presidents. President Trump stands 12 points behind the previous low mark of 47% set by Ronald Reagan at this point in 1982 and by Jimmy Carter in early 1978. So his approval rating is 12 points lower than both Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan at this time in their presidency. And amongst women, which is very important, the president has a 29% approval rating, meaning America. Almost 70% of women disapprove of President Trump's presidency. And that is compared with 42% of men. So he's below, he's in the tank, he's below, he's in the water when it comes to women, he's in the water when it comes to men, and when it comes to young people, 1 out of 5 Americans under 35 approve of the president's performance. People, this president has a problem, and he's got to fix it soon, or it could speak doom and damnation for the Republican Party in the midterm elections and the Trump agenda.